Hello, I'm so excited today to be with Nathalie Plamondon-Thomas. She is a confidence expert. She's got a background in working with leaders and entrepreneurs on building their confidence, building their capabilities at work. She's been a fitness expert. She is a writer and author of 15 books, 8 of which are international bestsellers. I'm thrilled to welcome you today, Nathalie Plamondon-Thomas.
Good morning, Claire. It's such a pleasure to be on your show. It's so cool.
Thank you. I wanted to do something to connect with people out there right now who are working from home, because this might continue for some time, and bring them insights, tips, strategies, really robust content. And I've known you for several years now and heard you speak and have always been thrilled at the depth of information that you bring, the insights which are particularly well put in words that I think resonate with listeners, and your incredible dynamism and generosity. So I was really excited to have you with us today, and want to just dive right into actually starting to think about what can we do to get the most out of our brains. This is an area you focus on, and you're all about the neuroscience. So from your perspective, what can we do to leverage our brains, which are under stress during this period of time?
Absolutely. Maybe I can demonstrate how we could potentially be our worst enemy with a story. I'll take you back about 12 years ago. I was trying to build my coaching business and build my speaking business. And I wanted to be a professional speaker. And I was hearing this voice in my head telling me, what are you thinking about? You can't be a professional speaker. Like, you don't even speak English. Like, you want to write books in English? What's wrong with you? Okay, I agree that my English was really bad. I remember teaching a yoga class where at the end, everybody was laying down for the relaxation, at the end of a yoga class, right? And then I wanted them to relax their body, relax their jaws. I wanted them to put their tongue on the roof of their mouth. And I said, put your thumb behind your tits. Yeah, beautiful.
You did it.
Beautiful. And then, well, I meant the teeth. Right? But I was bad at pronouncing English. I'm French, right? So my personal assistant, the voice in my head was telling me, see, and you want to be a speaker? What's wrong with you? So anyway, I started trying to continue to build that speaking business. And then I constantly was hearing this voice telling me that I wasn't good enough. And one day I got a call from an organization wanting to hire me and me to train their sales force. And they asked for my rate. I didn't have a corporate rate. So I go, 250. So they say, okay, so for 4 hours, there would be 1,000. I meant 250 for the whole thing, right? So I go, yes, that's correct. So I got the contract. But when I hung up the phone, I felt like a fraud. Again, I was hearing that voice telling me, you're not a real professional speaker. You don't deserve $1,000 paycheck for an afternoon. And that's when I realized I need to figure out a way to reprogram that voice in my head. Because what is it with us not trusting ourselves? And when you listen to that voice, that's where the problems start to happen, right? So I spent the last decade studying neuroscience and figuring out a system to reprogram all 6 layers of the brain so that I could control my brain, the prefrontal cortex, where all the emotions happen. I could control my logical mind, my unconscious mind. And that's what I want to share with you today is how do we understand how the brain works so that we can work smarter and work from home better, right?
Absolutely. So 6 layers of the brain and a system to put you in control of what's going on. Let's talk more about that right away. That piques my curiosity. How do we get ahead of the amygdala, which can hijack that sort of primal brain can hijack that cognitive thinking? What do we do?
Exactly. And I love that you talked about the amygdala and how the brain respond. Let's talk about emotion, powerful emotions. And right now we're during a pandemic, and the pandemic happened and we all started to panic, and it's just what it is. Now, whether you had, and I did as well, had my moment of feeling defeated and feeling like I'm not sure what I'm doing, and then some panic moments as well. So let's understand that in the prefrontal cortex, your brain does not know the difference between anxiety and excitement. So if you decide that it's excitement, then your brain will send through your bloodstream positive chemicals, because excitement is fun. So you will receive shots of happy feelings, of good chemicals, right?
So are you saying there's
Yeah.
a moment of choice there when we start to feel, we start to sense that, this sense of panic, we want to relabel it?
Absolutely. So an emotion should last between 30 and 90 seconds. So you receive an emotion, and an emotion is only one cycle. And you've seen that in children, right? They're temper tantrum, and then they're super happy, and then they're sad, and they're crying, and then they're happy again. It's 30 to 90 seconds. That's one loop.
Some of those tantrums went a little longer from my memory. Yeah, or maybe they just felt longer. I don't know.
What happens is that we choose to re-enter another loop. Take this as a delivery truck. So I like to give the analogy that a powerful emotion, and I never said negative emotion, because I don't think that emotions are just emotions. As we said, there's no difference between anxiety or excitement. They're all created equal in the prefrontal cortex. But if you decide that it's anxiety, then your brain will shoot 1,400 negative chemicals and cortisol through your bloodstream and slow you down. If you decide that it's excitement, it's going to give you a good shot of feeling positive. So let's get back to this truck arriving in your driveway. So your anger, fear, hurt, sadness, guilt, these emotions arrive in your driveway, and the truck parks there and waits for you to open the door to receive the parcel. So that takes about 30 to 90 seconds to make a delivery. The problem is we don't have time. We don't open the door for the parcel because we're busy, because we're working from home, and then we have people on Zoom, and we're talking to them, and or you're with your kids because you're homeschooling them, and then your kids say, "What's happening, mommy? Are you okay?" "Oh yeah, mommy is fine. Everything is good." And then you've got your staff that you report to, and they're counting on you because you're the leader, and then they look up to you, and they want reassurance that everything's going to be fine. So everything's going to be fine, and you don't open the door, so you're ignoring the truck in your driveway. The truck is not going to go anywhere, so it idles. And it idles, and it stays there until you open the parcel. So what is that parcel? What is that gift you're receiving? It's a positive learning. It's an opportunity to grow. It's your way of your chance to grow to the next level, to get better. So when a truck arrives in your driveway, if you ignore the learning, and whenever you feel uncomfortable, and then you're like, "I'm not liking this, what's going on?" or you're panicking, then you have to say, instead of, "Oh my gosh, am I never going to be able to do this? This is awful. We're never going to get out of this pandemic. Will I ever be paid again? Is my business going to reopen?" Then if you say, "Ooh, there's a truck in my driveway. Oh, I'm receiving a parcel. This is cool. I'm going to learn something. What am I going to become better at? I'm uncomfortable. That means I'm receiving a gift." So open the door, because otherwise, if you don't, another truck will arrive, and another truck will arrive. And all of a sudden, you've got three trucks in your driveway, and then you still can go around to get out. But after a while, your whole driveway is filled. And I have clients who have been stuck for months and years in their emotion, in their resentment, in their hurt, in their whatever was the emotion or the truck that were in the driveway. So you need to just open the door, find it what it is that you're learning, so that the truck will leave your driveway, and then you can feel confident again.
I love this, because what I've noticed from working with people, largely in the corporate world, but some entrepreneurs as well, there's a consistent, relentless pace to life. And what COVID has given us is a gift for a lot of us, not everybody. Some people have kept going flat hard running, responding to businesses that have been taking off or scrambling to keep business going, whatever the reality is. For many of us, there's been a pause so we can start to notice the trucks that are coming by. We can have more self-awareness and even more time for connection. A whole bunch of benefits come out of that. But what we've been living with as a culture is a relentless to-do focus. A success is driven by the money that we make and piling on action after action after action. Our emotional intelligence and ability to cope and calm nature has not been as revered as what do you do? How much do you make? What do status in our culture is defined very differently. So I like what you're saying, because I think this period of time has invited a noticing. And it's the noticing that we have to do to pay attention to those trucks. Otherwise, it's chronic stress and cortisol building up and building up. When those trucks keep delivering and delivering, that's taking a toll on your body, right?
And it's not what we want. What we want is dopamine, endorphin, serotonin, oxytocin. Well, it depends if you're with other people or if you're moving, or there's different use for each of these chemicals, and yet they're all happy, good feeling that pump you up, that make you feel good, that make you feel like I can do this, right? So that's the type of emotion that we want. And to revert back to your initial question, the 6 layers of the brain. So the system that I've created was to address each of these 6 layers. So the environment is the first one. So here's the DNA system. So the environment is the first layer, the behaviors. So your environment are the people around you, the things around you. Your behaviors are the things you do. The skills are the things you're good at. And most of the challenges that we face are caused by the next 2 layers. So there's the limiting beliefs. So that's in beliefs and value. Sometimes there's a disconnect between our values, between what's important to us and what's important for the organization. And if there's a mismatch, that's where there's staff that gets demotivated, or they have limiting belief that they will always live paycheck to paycheck, or that they cannot make it as an entrepreneur, or that they're not a good leader, or the I am, the identity, the next level. I am shy, or I am not good enough. So people try to fix, to get to the purpose, to the top layer, to get to happiness and serve. Who else am I? Why am I on this earth? We all have a purpose. To get there, you need all the layers to be aligned. These are Robert Dilts' neurological level that I used to base the DNA system on. And the problem is when, let's say, you have a limiting belief that you're not good enough, it's not by buying an expensive car or a designer purse that you will fix the problem that's in beliefs and value. It's not by taking a workshop or a webinar on Zoom to get better skills that you will become a better leader if you think I am not good enough. So you need to address the problem where it belongs. And that's how I created the DNA system, the 3 steps. So the first one is desire, then there's N for new you, and then A for actualize. So how it works is, and you
say that one more time, just so it's D is for desire, which is what you're aspiring to. So the vision of what you want.
So let's say you're doing a renovation. So let's go through the steps. So the first step is you wanting to do a kitchen renovation, and then you have in your folder a sample of these cupboards, this countertop, this backsplash, the sample for and then you put all that in a folder. And then we've done that before. You have a to-do list. You have a list of goals. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader in an organization, you even have a 5-year plan. You have a vision board, right? So you need the first step, your desire. What do you want? Because you need to know what you want in order to get there. So absolutely, we need to do that. The problem is people stop there. They make the folder, they have the list, and then they go to their day-to-day, and then they never look back. Or they just keep adding 8 things on the to-do list, and then they check only 3, and then they add 8 every day. So then the to-do list just goes longer. And like if lists or let's say vision boards worked on its own without doing the next 2 steps, we would all be driving Mercedes-Benz and martinis on deserted islands, right? So it's not the end of it all. Like you can't entertain people in a folder. It's not a kitchen. It's just a folder full of samples. It is not, you can't invite people to eat in this folder. There's no room. It's not a kitchen. Right?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
problem is that people take this plan and then they go into so much work to install the cupboards over top of the existing cupboard. And they try to install the island over top of the existing island. They go straight to step 3. They go to implement and actualize, which is actualize is the third step of the DNA system. So you can't skip part number 2. They forget to part number 2. You have to gut out the old kitchen. You have to remove all the bad stuff, the bad habits, self-sabotage, limiting belief, negative emotion, all the stuff that's keeping us from installing these brand new cupboards and this beautiful island, because you had a plan and you must go to the second step. And that's what I do. That's my niche. I help people get rid of this stuff that is no longer there, because any leader, any entrepreneur, everybody at home as the leader of their household, as a parent, you have all the answers you need inside. You have a brain, you have a lot of potential. And if you allow me to get started on the brain, I can tell you all the potential of the brain. Oh my gosh, I love the brain. So we have this drawer with all the answers inside, but there's sometimes a whole bunch of stuff that's accumulated. And when we face a challenge, we open the drawer for an answer, but we respond with what's on top. So you had a tough challenge at work. Your daughter comes behind you at home while you're cooking dinner, and she said, "Hey, mommy," and you go, "What?" And you're like, "Oh, this is not how I wanted to answer." But you had this huge challenge in your mind that you were thinking of from work today, and it was on top of the drawer. You had the answer underneath. You knew you wanted to say, "Yes, sweetheart, what can I do for you?" Right? That you have the answer. You know how to act. You know what to do. You can trust your gut. You're amazing at what you do. And by cleaning off all the bad stuff, that's how you have access to your best self, so that you can install this actual.
Yeah. So you're talking about, so this is your coaching mindset and approach to doing things. So yeah, changing the limiting beliefs, changing mindsets, though it's interesting, because it's almost, yes, those things might be in there, but they might be so buried and so hidden by other things, they're not even, you take off the first layer and you still don't see it. This is about going pretty deep to figure out where the challenges are. And with everything we've been facing in the past few weeks, to talk about values and getting to those. And I've never seen so many comments about what people's personal values are, and showing up in social media, what's happening with people sort of expecting the people around them to be aligned with those values. So it's interesting work that I see evidence of happening, and people are being more vocal about it. Doesn't mean we need to stop listening to each other, though. So there's a dance in there. But I love how you're connecting this, and that coaching mindset is what helps you get to that thinking that you might not on your own.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. And that's what you do as well with your clients. You help them see what they might miss. You might them, because when we are in a situation, we need sometimes a different question to be asked, so that we generate a different light bulb in our head. And I think that's why you're very successful with your clients too, is because you ask the right questions for people to generate the idea themselves. Because it's not about, we don't go around to give advice to people and tell them what to do. This is not what we do as coaches. We help people figure out or understand that they do have the answers that they need inside. How do we start programming ourselves and conditioning our minds to be on board? I'll give you just quickly, if I may, 2 other parts of the brain. We've talked about the prefrontal cortex and how we get in prefrontal cortex overload, and how to get in and get out of the loop, and then put the emotions outside of the prefrontal cortex. Let's talk about the logical mind and the unconscious mind, two amazing part of the brain. So the logical mind is your everyday thinking. We can handle 5 to 9 things at once. That's cool. You can multitask, right? So that's why you can just be on a Zoom call at the same time that you're making dinner while you're supervising your youngest homework, and at the same time finishing your email, and you notice still from the corner of your eye your oldest that's sneaking out and she's supposed to be grounded, right? So you can kind of do 5 to 9 things at once, right?
Not well.
But not well. Exactly, because the logical mind, 5 to 9 is not that great after all. It's not the end of the world. Have you ever noticed when you're driving to a new address and then you're looking at the numbers on the houses and you're trying to figure out where you're going, that you have to lower the volume on the radio? Because
100%.
somehow 5 to 9 gets overwhelmed very quickly. You have the foot on the brake and the accelerator. There's a red light ahead, the kid that's about to cross the street, the lady that might cut you off, and the dude in the car beside you winking at you. Gross. So when you add looking at the numbers on the houses, the music becomes the one too many. So living at a logical level is not that great. And the logical mind, research shows that 70% of our thoughts are negative. So we wouldn't have any friends if we talked to them the same way we talk to ourselves. So we need to start talking to ourselves better. So living at a logical level is trying to do everything at once. It's being overwhelmed. And I saw you were cringing when I was talking about being on a Zoom call while doing this. Well, that's what happens when you live at a logical level, because it gets overwhelmed too quickly. So you need to be able to focus. So you need to, let's say you're building.
Why do you call this at the logical level? This is, sorry, just to understand, this is the logical level because we're in our heads just deciding where to be versus you're going to talk about the subconscious?
Yes, I'm going to talk about the subconscious. That's exactly where I'm going.
Okay, I just was curious why we're calling it the logical level. This because it's the
conscious. Yeah, there's different schools. There's some people say the logical and the unconscious. Some people say the conscious and the unconscious or subconscious. There's different schools that name. So you're right. So that's exactly it. So there's the conscious and the unconscious. So I call it the logical and the subconscious, or so it's the same thing.
But subconscious is not illogical. So
correct.
Right? Okay, gotcha.
Correct. Okay. Exactly. Or it could be, depending on how it's programmed, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It could be.
Yeah. It could be.
Because it just listens and hears and makes it happen. So
sorry to interrupt you, but thank you for explaining that.
Oh no, absolutely. Because I'm sure that a lot of people are listening and wondering, well, I've read these things about the conscious and the unconscious. Is that it? Yes, that's it. So I'm so glad that you clarified that. So let's say you are working hard towards your goal, and then you're trying to bring your business back, and you're trying to gather your team and create engagement on working from home, and then you're working towards your goal, and it's exhausting because you're trying to do everything at once, and then there's kind of a hurry because you still need to pay your mortgage, and now when you go grocery shopping you need to wear a mask, and then you need to wash it in soap and water and before you put everything away, and like life is exhausting. So you have this goal and you work hard, and the harder you work the more exhausted you feel, and you're like, is this it? Is this the life of a leader? Like, is this really what I wanted? So you feel like you're getting further and further away from your dream life. It's like you are going to Halifax and you're in an aircraft that's flying to Vancouver. So even if you work super, super hard towards your goal and doing everything you can, you're never going to get there if you stay in that aircraft. So somehow, some people say, oh my gosh, I need to get off this aircraft. And no, you should stay on the aircraft. Just talk to the pilot and say, hey, bud, mind turning around because that's where I'm going. Imagine how much faster you'll get there. And that's the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, or whatever you call it. So that
I like that. Talk to the pilot.
Talk to the pilot, right? And make them turn around. It's going to be so much better, right? 2.3 million pieces of information every second, 5 to 9 for the logical mind, and 2.3 million pieces of information every second for the unconscious mind. That's where the power is, and that's what you want to do, to talk to that pilot. You need to tell your, go ahead.
How do we get in a habit of talking to the pilot? What does that look like?
Yeah, exactly. I like to use the analogy of a personal assistant. So you have a personal assistant in your head, taking notes, writing down everything that you say or think. So somehow, the problem is, people get up in the morning and then they look at themselves in the mirror and they go, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm gaining weight. So the personal assistant writes it down. Tired, stressed out, gaining weight. Okay, tired. What can I do for this? Oh, I know. I'm going to keep her awake all night. She's not going to be able to sleep. So she's going to be really tired in the morning. Check. Stressed out. What can I do for this? Oh, I know. I'm going to make her forget something at home. She's going to have to turn around in traffic. And right now, nobody likes to be out. And, oh, that's going to be very stressful. Check. I think I'm gaining weight. Oh, that's an easy one. I can certainly find a chocolate bar or something deep fried for her to eat today. Check. So your personal assistant listens to everything that you say or think. So we have to pay attention to our thoughts. Pay attention to what we say and think so that we can rephrase what we want the personal assistant to write on the clipboard all the time. It's important to say what you want, because my clients tell me very often what they don't want. They say, I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to be impatient with my kids, and I don't want to be broke. Personal assistant, right? Stress, impatient, broke. I got this, right? Even if you said, I don't want to, because your personal assistant needs to process the whole information before it can negate it. And by this time, it's on the clipboard and it's
and it's the power words in there that it's responding to, not the little negations of those words. It's that main noun is really, or verb potentially, is what the brain is tuning into. So how do you do this? How do you catch yourself? Is this a slowing down? Is this a regular practice? What do you do?
So in an aircraft, changing the direction of the plane, you just push the button and then that's easy, right? In your brain, it's a little bit more complicated than just a GPS, right? Because you need to change the address, because if you don't, it's going to keep recalculating, right? So you need to change the address on the GPS. So this process needs to happen at an unconscious level. So it's not easy to do that by yourself at a logical level. That's what I do with my clients.
I want to fix this now. That kind of head down approach isn't going to work.
So I will give you a technique that you can use right away to get the process started, okay? So it's a 2-step technique. And what you do is you listen to your thoughts all the time. And all of a sudden you hear a nasty thought, okay? I'm so stressed out all the time. First step, you rephrase it in the past. I used to be stressed out, okay? Because if you say, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, and then you say, oh no, I'm calm, it's not going to work. Affirmations don't work if you don't believe them. When I work with my clients with the Think Yourself Wealthy program, deep financial struggle, I can't make them stand tall and say, I am rich. Their brain goes, no, we're not.
Well, I call BS.
That's BS. They call it BS. Exactly.
Yeah.
So first, you rephrase it in the past. I used to be in financial struggle. So then your personal assistant goes, yeah, that's true. Now, why are we talking about this?
Now I'm still listening because it's true. I'm still paying attention. I didn't shut you down.
I didn't shut you down. I'm still listening because it's true. You're right. We used to be in finance, but why are we talking about this in the past? Am I putting this on the clipboard or not? Like, what is it over? What's that? Immediately, you follow up with the step 2, a progressive statement. So a progressive statement starts with, I am willing to learn, or I'm in the process of. Okay, I am willing to learn, I'm in the process of. So let's start over with the example. I'm so stressed out. Oh, wait, don't write that down, personal assistant. I used to be stressed out. Now I'm willing to learn how it feels to be more calm. I'm in the process of setting up good processes in my life so that I'm organized and it makes me feel more calm. So you say it in the past and then following with a progressive statement. This will help you. And please use it.
This is massive. I really want to highlight and emphasize this. This is a power tool for reframing all of those negative thoughts. It starts in the noticing. And the noticing starts with that emotion, that feeling that you're sensing. So to catch it and then use that active cognitive mind to do this two-step reframe, put it in the past, and then be progressive. I love this, Natalie. This is
Absolutely.
so powerful.
Because it's funny because I was on an interview last week on a leadership summit, and then I know the lady that interviewed me because we've been in contact 2 years prior. We were on another event together, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I remember this technique, and I used it like 3 or 4 times for sure in the past 2 years." And I said, "No, 3 or 4 times in 2 years, it's not enough.
A day.
You need to do that 4 times a day,
Right.
every day, all
Right.
the time." Yeah,
Right. Because I believe we're all striving to be better humans, better, and make improvements. And this is an integral part in finding a way to be successful doing that, and in a self-loving way. So you're not beating there's no shame. I've noticed a lot of shame this week with respect to Texas and Juneteenth. I'm 47 years old. I'm 50 years old, and I'm just learning about it now. I'm like, you haven't done anything wrong. Hold on to that learning mindset. You didn't know it, and you're open to learning. And what I want to hold on to is you're open to learning. So put that in the past without beating yourself up, and step into this progressive mindset. I love this is a superpower.
absolutely, absolutely. We need to go from a place of gratitude
Mm,
instead of a place of guilt, of I didn't know it, or hurt, or it's about, okay, then I'll be grateful for what I have and for
yeah.
how blessed I can be, or how, as opposed to it's always making us feel better when we
Yeah.
go in a gratitude mode.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this situation you were mentioning, anyway.
Yeah. I want to just add one little trick that I do, because I find a lot of people have a bit of a challenge being super kind to themselves. So I invite everyone to think of yourself as about 3 years old. And 3 years old, we have this pure intention, this expressiveness in generally for most of us. And that 3-year-old kids are doing their best. They're learning and discovering. So if you can take your 3-year-old self through your day, you are going to say, "Hey, little Claire, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Are you tired? What do you need now? What do you need? And what are you going to learn?" And so that a little bit of reframing how we look at ourselves with compassion through that lens can be useful to stay in this place then of when we notice, not to sabotage with a lot of stepping into shame and embarrassment, but stay noticing and be kind. Bring your 3-year-old self along on that journey, and then be progressive.
I love that. I love that. It's I will use that. Talking to yourself as a 3-year-old and say, especially, and I like what you just said. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? We're working from home, and all of a sudden it's 1:30 p.m. You look at your clock and you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's 1:30. I haven't ate yet." Well, you need to have lunch, honey. Are you
Mm.
hungry, Natalie? Little 3-year-old Natalie? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? I love this. I'm totally gonna use that. Brilliant.
This is why it's so wonderful to talk to experts like you. I'm learning, and we get to share these nuggets of wisdom with people. I'm super conscious of time now. This has been extremely powerful. Is there anything else that you would like to add for the people out there that are probably going to be continuing to work from home? I know 69% of people, according to a Gallup poll, say that they want to continue to work from home as much as they want going forward. So we're going to have a hybrid lifestyle for as many people that can work from home. Will probably be continuing. What else would you like to offer to the community
Mhm.
that's listening?
So what happened when COVID hit is I do have the Think Yourself Academy offers a whole bunch of different online courses, and a lot of my courses have been very useful for people just getting into the online mode or reinventing their business. So a few of my courses, like Think Yourself Confident, Think Yourself a Tech Pro, how to actually record videos, how to use green screen like I was using today, how to have videos on your website, and how to have online courses like I do, and Think Yourself a Business Pro, the 10-step to create a successful business. So there's a few implementation guides for free on my website that you can download here. So thinkyourself.com, free gifts. So if you go
Awesome.
there, go download the implementation guide. There's also a gratitude journal that you can then download, a gratitude page that you could make copies for your day. So thankyourself.com/free gifts. And the other thing that I would like to offer to everybody that's watching on your show, Claire, with the code will be work from home better. So work from home better, all in one word. So if they enter that for any of my courses, so you go to thankyourself.com/online, thankyourself.com/online, and then you see all my courses are there. And if you enter the code work from home better, you get a 75% off. So it's ridiculous amount, because I do believe that people need guidance right now. And I do understand a lot of people don't have income right now. And it's my way to pitch in. I do a lot of philanthropic work in Haiti, and now it's time for me to help people at home here in Canada or in the United States, because at this time, at first I thought I'm just going to open my courses so that people get them for free. And then because I teach business and I'm well known to teach people how to make money, I thought it's not fair. It doesn't make sense for me to have my stuff for free. But I thought if I give a 75% off, and I'm happy to give you this code. So work from home better, you enter that in the coupon area, and then you get any courses. Some of my courses are $300 and you'll pay $75. Some of my courses are $95 and you'll pay $25. So use this. You'll see on the page, it's all going to be full price, and there might be a few that are discounted right now. But when you click on purchase and then there's a code, an area for code, you enter that code, you'll get the 75% off. So I'm happy to give that to all the audience member today.
So thank you so much for that. The wealth of information that you have, the generosity that I've seen you display to the community that we're part of, a speaking community, has been off the charts. And this is just another example. So I want to just urge listeners. So if you're thriving and you're in a position to not take that discount and pay full price, go ahead and do that. And support Nathalie and her work to continue to be here and generating more wonderful content for other people. If you need the discount, by all means, jump in there and take it. But I think now, if we've got the means, this is the time to support businesses that we actually believe in and want to see continue and thrive. So I want to thank you so much, Nathalie. Nathalie Plamondon-Thomas. You are brilliant, you are vivacious, you are smart and generous, and I'm thrilled to know you and thrilled that everyone listening could experience some of your genius.
Thank you so much, Claire.